In today's Pick a Card Tarot reading, we are going to be looking at the month of May for all of you here. There will be 4 soul paths for you to choose from, and in each one, we're going to look at the current energy and the upcoming energy of the month of May, as well as what you might expect and some guidance and advice to help you navigate the month ahead. So with that, let's get started. Hello, my curious souls. My name is Amanda. Welcome. So happy to have you here. So if you already know which soul path you'd like to choose from, all of the timestamps are in the description box, along with anything you'd like to know about the decks that I'm using today and links to book a personal reading or anything else that you may find interesting. If any of these readings resonate today, I welcome your insights and comments, as I love seeing how these readings connect with you, and I also love connecting with you in the comments. Remember, though, that these are general and they are here to offer insight and not instruction, so please take what resonates and lovingly leave the rest. For those who would like an official intro to the soul paths today, let me give you a quick intro. So for soul path 1, we have Earth with the tree agate stone. For soul path 2, we have Air with the angelite crystal or stone. For soul path 3, we have Fire and the red agate stone. And for soul path 4, we have Water with the opalite crystal. So whenever you feel ready, choose the pile or piles that you are most drawn to. Click on the timestamp for your reading in the description box, and I'll meet you over there. Hello, soul path 1. Welcome into your reading. You chose the Earth card with the tree agate stone. You could be an earth sign. You could also be focusing on your roots, your foundations. That could be your physical body, your health, your diet. Could be your finances or your home, maybe family. So I just pulled 2 cards for the end of your reading, which will hopefully give us a little more insight on your month ahead and maybe some more inspiration. I do want to pull current energy from a different deck here. Current energy for soul path 1, please. See where you're at. Current energy for soul path 1. That's curious. What is that? Rainbow blessings. Blessings are showering your life. So this may be a moment where you need to, or a month, I should say, to really look at the blessings in your life, to have gratitude for those. But that could also be about blessings coming forward as well. So we have deception and envy with the number 7. This feels like a test of truth here. I feel like you could possibly be reflecting on some kind of truth you have about yourself, about a situation. You could be maybe even just doing things under the radar at the moment. Maybe you're kind of processing something and you're not ready to share something yet. So it could just be a matter of you not communicating a thought, a feeling, an idea. I don't get deception from this, even though the card says deception and envy. But to kind of address the elephant in the room, there could be some deception. I don't know if you are honoring your truth or there's some envy here. You might be envious of someone else, or someone else might be envious of you. There could be somebody around you that feels a little manipulative or controlling. So it kind of spans a bit of the gamut here based on the collective and everybody's situation. So let's take a look at your month now with the tarot. For soul path 1, please, and hopefully we'll get a little more clarity on that current energy as we get some of the tarot out here. So we have foundation energy, which is that Earth card here. We've got the 4 of Pentacles. We've got the Queen of Wands. And we have the 8 of Swords in the reverse. Okay, so I like this energy for you. There's something about you being reserved, so I do get that that's going to be carrying on in the month of May, where you're preserving yourself for something. You are not really releasing something into the world. You are maybe not spending money like you used to. You're really preserving your energy, your time, your money for the things that are important. And that could be the energy that I was picking up there, is that you're really just rooted in maybe staying home, not really going out, of doing things kind of behind the scenes and not really putting yourself out there, not really communicating with people. I get a bit of hermit energy with that. So that could be kind of carrying over in the month of May. But we do have you having some kind of vision for something here. You really kind of looking out into the distance to really get a feel for what you want to create for yourself. So I get a bit of contemplative energy with this Queen of Wands. She's very creative, and she's just kind of sitting in wait. She understands what she wants, but she's kind of waiting for the right time and the right opportunity to do something here. So there's a patience, but there's also this energy that you have ready and waiting to jump on something, to move towards something. And it has to be something that is aligned with your passion, with your desires. So I really get that you're waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right person, whatever it is. And until that time, you're kind of preserving yourself. You're kind of keeping things under the hat. And you're not really kind of putting yourself out there. Even though you have the confidence, I don't feel like this is an energy of pulling back, of really going inward. I just feel like you're just confident in knowing that and trusting that things will happen in divine timing, and you will take action when you need to. And that could be part of the guidance as well. So there's some kind of release of restriction here. And this is a release of mental restrictions, so self-imposed restrictions and limitations. I wonder if you've been doing some work about how you think about yourself, how you think about a certain situation, maybe how you think about your finances or your career. Because I really feel like there is going to be movement in the month of May based on the trust in your abilities, your skills, your creativity, because you've waited for the right time. And I almost wonder if a blessing is going to come in, because it's kind of like where what is that saying, where skill meets opportunity? No, where practice meets opportunity. It's escaping me right now. Preparation meets opportunity. And I think the month of May is you preparing for something. You really pulling your energy back, really getting clear about what are the important things that I'd like to spend my time on, my energy, my money, and really setting the stage, setting the foundation for you to launch from. And that work might mean this Eight of Swords energy, where you're releasing yourself from some kind of mental cycle that you've been in. Maybe you've been ruminating about something and feeling stuck, but I feel really standing in your confidence and prioritizing those things that are important to you, the visions that are important to you, is really going to move you forward. And also being really disciplined in that process, because we have Capricorn energy here, and that is about being disciplined in your approach, working hard to achieve something. And then we have Jupiter energy here, but it is in reverse. So it's almost like there's a retraction before there's an expansion, because it is in the reverse position. This is kind of like retrograde energy, where there's this reflection on what you want to expand on and how you want to do that. What is the work that you have to do in order to do that? And with the Gemini, that is learn patterns and thoughts and how your mind works. So I feel that's going to be part of your focus, especially if you're feeling stuck or limited in some area of your life. It could be your home, it could be your physical body, it could be your finances. There's a confidence that needs to come to the surface and a vision for the bigger picture here that needs to really be focused on in order for you to see that you aren't really stuck, that you can make choices, you can take action to fixing something. It's all about prioritizing something here and taking action. So, as I mentioned, bottom of the deck energy, which is kind of your underlying monthly energy, this is about you moving in a direction that aligns to your vision, aligns to what you see for yourself, what you want for yourself, what you desire for your life. And it's being really clear and refined about those actions that you take, making sure that it is in alignment with that and not in alignment with a stress, a fear, an anxiety, a limiting belief. So I really feel that there's a really grounded energy that's going to help you move in a way that is very structured, that is very, I want to say polished, but it is really refined because you are getting down to the details. I'm hearing it's all in the details, and it's then having confidence in that plan, in that action, in that foundation, and moving from that space. Even though these thoughts might want to creep through, it's about getting above and beyond those thoughts to be able to literally move beyond them. It's kind of facing those head on, challenging them, and moving beyond them. And I almost wonder if that is what the Seven of Swords is that you've starting to understand some kind of truth, and you're kind of mulling it over with yourself. You're understanding it first, you're getting to know it first, and you're not getting to this space of letting it limit you in any way. You are seeing this truth, you are understanding this truth. Maybe you're putting a plan and a strategy in place to be able to create the foundation you need to do that. So that's really lovely. So let's take a look at your cards here. I love this. The Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. So this card speaks to being very precise in your movement, and I do get a lot of Four of Pentacles from that, because it's about not just moving for the sake of movement or for the sake of progress, or even trying to move beyond as quickly as possible these limiting beliefs or this restriction that you might be feeling. But it's about really getting clear and waiting for the right time to strike. And when you do strike, it is intentional. It is very strong, because you have focused your energy so much that you're able to channel this energy in the right place at the right time. So again, I'm coming back to this kind of sit and wait before taking action and be really graceful in that movement. And again, more movement and action coming through. So again, right place, right time, right opportunity, and preparing. So this is like preparation. And Knight, be brave and honest. So we're ending this, we're coming back to kind of the beginning where we talk about the truth, and maybe you're coming to some kind of truth and you're being brave and honest with yourself. So again, it's about kind of discovering the truth or uncovering the truth within self. And I have a feeling it has to do with these limitations or restrictions, maybe even the thought patterns that you have within your mind that is coming to the surface, and you're able to really be brave and honest about what that has, or how that has guided your decisions, how that has prevented you from taking action or guided your action in some way, and being really truthful and honest without any judgment. So that's kind of a beautiful card, because it just speaks to being honest with yourself regardless of whether you've made mistakes in the past, whether you have certain limiting beliefs about yourself. It's about looking at that and understanding it so that you can move beyond it and you can take new action or different action, more precise action, to be able to move yourself forward. So this is what I have for you, my dear Soul Path 1. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 2. Welcome into your reading. You chose the Air card with the Angel Light Stone. You could be thinking about some things. You could be communicating some things in the month of May. You could even be connecting to cosmic realm or your spirit guides, or you're leaning into your spirituality a little bit more. Maybe even clearing your head is what I'm hearing. So you're trying to get clarity on something. The fog is being lifted. So let's see what your current energy is for the start of your reading. Almost forgot. We're getting a card to end your reading first. I forgot. So it's interesting. We will look at that at the end of the reading. But it's interesting that I got so swept up in my own thoughts that I forgot some kind of process. I forgot kind of where I was. So this is kind of, I don't know if that resonates or not, but current energy, awareness, yes. So this is Magician energy, and I should have actually mentioned that the Magician came out in your pre-shuffle in the tarot. And so I really think that you are bringing awareness to something. Something is coming to light. There's a fog being lifted, and you're really being inspired. We do have the third eye chakra being illuminated, as well as the crown being illuminated, as well as this kind of orb around this magician here. So it's almost like you are connecting to a higher self or becoming more aware about something. And you're really in this energy of creation because the fog has been lifted and you're able to move from a little more of a clear space. Now, that doesn't mean that you can see the path ahead completely. There still might be a lot of questions, a lot of unknowns, but I feel you're just in this present moment as I want to create something. I'm clear about what it is I want to create and the next right step that I have to take in order to do that. So that's a really cool energy to be in. So even though there's clouds, you're kind of not letting them determine whether you move or not, or create or not, or make a decision or not. You're just kind of going with it. There's a lot of flow energy that comes through with that. So let's take a look at love it, love it, love it. A lot of good energy for you so far. I think there's a lot of fun. Wow. I think you're having a lot of fun in the month of May. I'm just going to say that. And again, you're following some new path here. You're kind of opening yourself up to what could be. You're no longer feeling limited by maybe the past, maybe the stories or the thoughts that have controlled your actions. I do get that there's going to be a lot of fulfillment for you in the month of May. I see you kind of having new experiences with friends, having new experiences with a new community as well. Really finding inspiration is the overall feeling that I'm getting from your month. You're really following your heart here, and that's a beautiful, beautiful energy. I think part of your guidance and advice would be to open yourself up a little bit and I think you're already doing that because there's an awareness that you're bringing to the table right now. But I think you have to go beyond what it's almost like you connecting with new communities or you getting out of your day-to-day routines to experience some new things. So this is kind of like pushing the boundaries, pushing the envelope, having new innovations about or new ideas about something and exploring that, not shutting that down. That could be part of the challenge for your month, but the challenge could also be to get out into new communities as well, because that can be a little bit tricky when we haven't been or done something before. Been somewhere or done something before, it can be tricky to really see how it's going to play out. But it's not about looking at the end result or maybe how you might feel. This is about the exploration. It's about the journey. It's about taking that next right action. And then once you've experienced that thing or have had that connection, then you kind of go back to the table and bring awareness to what felt good, what didn't, what's challenging me, what's bringing me joy, and doing a bit of reflection work there. But I do see overall that you are going to have a pretty fulfilling May. There could be a lot of things going on. There could even be a celebration that takes you to another country or you experiencing some new landscapes somewhere. and you're going to find some inspiration. I feel like it's really going to open you up. It's going to expand your world in some way, maybe even provide some kind of inspiration for something that you're creating. And I just get an opening up of your world here. And for some, not all, there could be some romantic encounters as it relates to new communities that you find yourself in, or new places that you find yourself in, and just in the emotional space that you find yourself in. I feel like the month of May is going to really allow you to feel whole and fill up your cup, to be inspired, to feel fulfilled, to feel satisfied on an emotional level. We have 3 cups here and 2 major arcanas. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because it's going to really bring you some new experiences that you've never experienced before. Now, I will say that that also brings up some challenges, and probably will bring up some challenges as you kind of move on, because this is part of your growth. So even though it's exciting, it's fulfilling, it's satisfying, there are going to be things that you are confronted with along the way that are going to challenge how you feel about yourself or about the situation. So definitely don't let that stop you. I think you still have to follow your heart, continue to check in with your intuition, because that's going to be quite important as well. As we talk about cups, we're talking about that emotional self and that sensitivity that is within you, that intuition. So definitely keep a watch on that. But there's just a lot of expansion happening here. There's a lot of connections that are happening here, and just an opening up of your world, which is really beautiful. But I just feel that you're really feeling good within yourself. You're really feeling expressive. You're really feeling like you've achieved something here. And you have. I think that the work that you have put in up to this point has been quite significant. And it is opening up a new chapter for you. And I don't think you're going to be able to predict any of the experiences that you have. So whatever fog that you might be feeling in, I think it's going to be lifting in the month of May, and you're going to have such clarity, emotional clarity about things. You're really going to be tapping into those feelings. You're really going to feel very fulfilled, very loved, very taken care of by others, but also yourself as well. And it's because some awareness that you're bringing to the table that's really allowing you to open up here. There's a massive heart opening that is happening in the month of May. So definitely expect that to happen, and don't fear that. So let's see your... Okay, so Sky Father, trust in the unknown. So you may have some fears about the unknown and what's to come. I think that could bring some foggy energy, but again, I'm feeling that you can't let that prevent you from moving. If you can't see the entire pathway, don't allow that to stop you in your tracks. Just take one small step at a time and see how it goes. So it's really trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, but also trusting the divine opportunities that might come your way. Because I feel you're quite in alignment with yourself, with your emotions, and so allow those to guide you. And Hermit, retreat and recharge. So this is kind of what I chatted about when it's kind of putting yourself in new situations and maybe having a little bit of fear, putting yourself in new situations and then going back in to your own space to really kind of parse how you feel, how the experience went for you, what brought you joy, what created discomfort, and why. You know, it's not that we should avoid discomfort, because discomfort can be a part of our growth. It can be a part of healing old wounds. And it does not mean that something is not correct for us, but it can indicate what areas we can lean into. But I do feel like having that emotional balance is going to be really important, of stepping out and then pulling back to really recharge. So these are the messages that I have for you today, my dear Soul Path 2. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 3. Welcome into your reading. You chose the red agate stone with the fire card. You could be a fire sign. Let's see. We're going to pull a couple of cards for the end of your reading today. I just did this, didn't I? So there's something about repeating something here. You could be feeling some repetition, some cycles coming back. Hopefully not, because nobody likes to repeat cycles, but something to be aware of. You may have to do something a couple of times in order to get something. I'm not sure. So your current energy is wisdom. And this is the Hierophant card. This is about your belief system, the things that you really root down in, even your faith, but also possibly learning something of a higher nature here. So you could be learning about a new spiritual practice or a new religion. You could be doing some kind of doing some new routines. Maybe you're already starting to implement that, but there's some kind of foundation and structure here as it relates to your spiritual beliefs or the things that you're learning about your routines, your habits, your behaviors. You may also be a very structured person. You could be an earth sign or a fixed sign. So let's see if that plays into your reading today, Soul Path 3. Let's get some cards for your month ahead, please, for Soul Path 3. It'll be interesting to see if it repeats as well. Okay. So, yeah, I think you have a better understanding of your soul's desires here for the month of May. I think you're really exploring that. Okay, so we have the Three of Wands in the upright, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and the Eight of Cups in the upright with the Devil in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. We'll get to the Devil in a sec, but we've got the Three of Wands here, which speaks to you patiently waiting for something to come to you, for something to pay off, for you to see some kind of result here. And it's interesting that the Three of Wands and the Hierophant here are facing in the same direction. So it's like you're putting or applying your wisdom and trusting and having faith in that. So it's almost like you haven't seen the results of something. You've maybe put something into motion. You've maybe put some energy or effort into some kind of something that you're wanting to build here or manifest for yourself. You've taken some initiation, some first steps here, and now you're waiting for it to pay off and having faith and trust and hope in that. So the month of May could be you sitting in that energy a little bit where you may not see results. I feel like there's no guarantees there, but you still are kind of showing up and staying open to the possibilities, which I think is going to be important here. So we've got the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And again, we've got a little bit more. I don't think you're holding yourself to a certain structure, to a certain way of doing things, which I also feel is part of that Hierophant energy. You've learned something new. So it's kind of like you're trying things out, you're practicing, you're putting things into action, and you're really opening yourself up here. You're not reserving yourself to a certain outcome, to a certain expectation. So that's going to be part of your guidance and advice, is that you have to release all expectations and outcomes that you might have and kind of sit in the energy of let's see what happens here. Because I feel like once you start putting those restraints or expectations, there's going to be some kind of disappointment. So with the Eight of Cups here, there's something that you may have to emotionally detach from or emotionally abandon in some regard. And I'm not really sure what this is, but there's some kind of emotional restriction that is happening that is kind of pressuring you to emotionally invest in a new way or in something else. So something you might be realizing in the month of May that maybe, I don't know if it's this that you've invested in that's not going to pay off, but yeah, you know what? It is emotional detachment to allow you to open yourself up to new possibilities here. So it's again having trust and faith in your own abilities, your own skills, the effort that you've put into something, and not be too emotionally invested in the results, in the outcome. But again, there's just an allowing that is coming through to see what comes, to see what happens, and be surprised. It is about your beliefs, of having the belief of trusting your efforts, trusting that eventually, as long as you're aligned with something, as long as you're staying open to those possibilities, and as long as you're intentionally putting that effort in a consistent way over time, that there will be some kind of payoff. But in the meantime, it's about releasing attachment, emotional attachment to this is going to work out in this way. So again, I think these two are really going hand in hand here, because it's about freeing yourself from restrictions and limitations. And the devil in reverse is also Capricorn energy, and that is also in reverse. So I really feel the release of some kind of structure in the way that you've done something, especially if it hasn't worked, is going to open things up. And I think that's kind of what's happening here with these two Capricorn cards, where you are having discipline, but in a different way. You're not having discipline in the sense where I have to control everything and I need to really do my best to make this specific outcome happen. It's like, no, I'm going to trust my efforts. I'm going to trust my experience. I'm going to trust my wisdom and have discipline in that effort, not the outcome. So that's kind of a really cool energy to have, because I feel it will open you up to more possibilities and even surprise you as well. But there's something here that you need to sacrifice, that you need to let go of in order for that to happen. It could be a number of things. I feel like that's going to be different for all of you. But I do think there's going to be some things that you have to release, that you have to let go of. So again, it's kind of unclasping yourself from something here. So let's look at your oracle cards. Broken Arrow, embrace the energy of peace. So with this, I feel like your direction is changing, and the direction that you were once moving towards or moving on is no longer in alignment. So this is feeling like a radical acceptance of what is and possibly what is to be, but you haven't seen it yet. So in the meantime, to foster this peace within yourself, peace in knowing that your efforts are enough, peace in knowing that your direction is the correct one at this time, and just knowing that what you're walking away from or what you're detaching from, there's a reason for that. So allow those things to fall away. And then hold the space. Druid, hold the space. This is very wise energy. I'm feeling like this is a moment to really settle into your wisdom. Hold the space to really reflect on the expansion that you want to see, the actions that are aligned to that ultimate goal, and to allow your inner wisdom to come through in spaces of stillness and pause and reflection. There's some kind of cycle or some kind of routine or structure that is breaking here, and there is good reason for that, and I think it's going to serve you in the long run to embrace that. So it's holding the space for that to happen, but not so tightly that you're trying to control what happens in that space. So this is what I have for you, my dear Soul Path 3. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 4. Welcome into your reading. You chose the water card with the opalite stone. You could be a water sign, or you could be having a lot of emotions. at this moment, or you're exploring your emotions. Maybe you're exploring past emotions. And before we get into the tarot, let's pull a couple of oracle cards to end your reading, and we won't look at them until the very end, which will hopefully give us a little more inspiration, guidance, or clarification for the month ahead and this reading today. So let's get a card for you. Balance. So that's lovely. I feel like you're coming to the table with a lot of neutrality. You're not placing any strong judgments on something, but you're really waiting to get clarification in order to make an informed decision about something. So you're really taking everything into consideration, which can be a really good thing, but it can also keep us stuck as well, stuck in cycles of overthinking and not making a decision. So I'm getting two of Swords energy. So this could I don't know why I'm talking about the Two of Swords, but for some reason there's an overthinking coming through. So there's something about needing to make a decision at some point and not taking on too much information, because that could cause confusion. But I do feel like you're in a good space of feeling really balanced and feeling like you can really discern what information is important, what's not, in order for you to really decide on something here, or to move ahead on something. Now, you could also be moving through some kind of karmic relationship, or you could be dealing with the law as well. So I do feel a balanced outcome here, because everything is kind of getting put on the table to be judged fairly. And I think there will be a fair outcome here, just based on the fact that this is in the upright. Now, I'm going to pull, and speaking of emotions, past emotions, we have the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So this is just kind of reflection energy, reflection on the past as it pertains to your emotions or your emotional relationships, your emotional connections. This could be something that has come back into your life, and you're kind of thinking about, how do I bring balance into this situation? What is the best decision to make as it pertains to something that is coming back around and maybe left my life but is now back? And do I allow this in? Do I not? So let's just see what the tarot has to say for the month of May for Soul Path 4. So you have the Ace of Cups in reverse, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and the Empress in reverse. So a lot of, there's a little bit of uncertainty here. And we've got the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. You saw me shuffle that, right? So it's definitely an underlying energy coming through very strongly here. I feel that you're really trying to understand some kind of emotion. You're really trying to reflect on maybe certain memories. You're trying to reflect on how you once felt and how you feel now. But this is also simple pleasures here. So it's almost like you want to simplify something, and you're trying to make judgments or decisions on how to do that. But it's also at the same time, there's some emotional aspect that is possibly emotionally draining you or overwhelming you to some degree, and you're unable to really apply the simplicity, or apply how you want to feel, or really allow how you want to feel to kind of come to the forefront, because I feel like something's overshadowing all of this. The Ace of Cups in reverse can be this feeling of cleansing. When it's in the upright, it can be this energy of something new that we love. There's an opportunity for new love. But in the reverse, there's kind of a block to that. There's a block in the heart space, and that could be in relation to this Six of Cups energy, where there's something that has gone, it went away, and it's back, and you don't really want it in your life anymore. This could be a familial relationship where it's someone from your family is coming back, and you're just overwhelmed with them being in your life, or you just feel emotionally drained being around them. So do I let them in or not? So there's a lot of emotions to deal with. I think there's a lot of good emotions and not so good emotions that are coming through here. and you really not feeling clear about things. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse kind of connects to the Empress here, because both of these are Venus energy. It's about the things that we value, the things that we take pride in, our sensibilities, our tastes, how we love ourselves, our vulnerabilities. But in the reverse, it can also speak to some doubts and disappointments, uncertainty, and maybe a lack of safety. So I feel like whatever is coming back from the past makes you feel unsafe or insecure or not able to care for yourself in some regard. And so part of your challenge is to really reflect on this particular emotion or this situation or this person, to understand how they are influencing your life. Well, first of all, how did they once influence you in your life? And how you see that changing or not in the current circumstance. I really feel like if this is a person, I really do feel like this person is not the right match for you, whether that is romantic or platonic, only because I feel like there may be a disconnection to self, disconnection to your emotions and the things that you value within yourself. But also, I feel like you might care for them more than they care for you. And this leaves you drained of your own energy to care for yourself, to really feel comfortable in your environment, within your body, within maybe your finances. So there's something here that lacks or is lacking. And I think the month of May is you really reflecting on this on a very deep level. Not just about do I or don't I. I think this goes deeper than that. So deep reflection is something that I'm getting from this. But also with this balance here, I do think that you're going to make an appropriate decision that is in alignment with how you want to feel. And there could be some inner child work that you're doing in the month of May. You could be dealing with a mother figure that may not have been there in the past, and now there's a lot of old feelings coming up. There's a lot of old stories that are coming through that could quite possibly be triggering for you. So I think the month of May is just about really using your discernment as best as possible to not get emotionally caught up in the nostalgia of this is how it used to be. Maybe there's some guilt and shame that comes through. So just be mindful. There's an awareness that's coming through. But I think to make this decision or to really understand how to move forward in this, you really have to look at how you respond to this person, how you show up, especially if this person says that they've changed. Have they? And that might be something of an exploration that you have to do. But again, it's about dipping your toe in and being really discerning about gathering information before giving this the green light. I think, yeah, there's just a lot of, there's a judgment call that you have to make here. But it has to align with how you're valued in this relationship. Is it aligned to your values and how you feel now? Not necessarily in the past. Because the past may be very present because of the nostalgia, because of the memories. But in reality, outside of the past, and maybe reflecting on the good times and the simple times, I don't really see it being something that is mutually beneficial or something that is going to really provide a sense of stability, security, peace, comfort. So you might have to do that for yourself and really implement self-care more than you have in the past, because this past influence or this reflective energy could possibly throw you for a bit of a loop here. Yeah, it might throw you off track a little bit. So just definitely be aware. There's an awareness coming through. Give yourself the space that you need to process things, to make decisions, to care for yourself and not get swept up in this emotional energy. There's a practicality that is coming through, and remind yourself of the things that you value in yourself and in others. Remind yourself of the things that you've built for yourself and that you're not willing to give up or sacrifice for someone else. That is self-care. Having those boundaries in place is self-care. So I really see that as a theme coming through. Okay, so we have Spirit Fox, trust your talents in changing times. Yes, I feel like this is about trusting yourself and not being, I want to say seduced, but that's not the right word. And I don't want to say tricked either. Not being, I don't want to say manipulated. I'm trying to find a word that's along those lines. Not allowing someone to trick you into believing that something is different when it's not is basically the sentiment that I'm getting from this, and trusting your feelings as it pertains to this person or this situation. Trusting your instincts. Trusting when you need to duck out, when you need to engage. Trust that whatever you have built with this balance card, with this discernment, I just get a feeling of trust yourself here. Trust your abilities. Sneak away if you need to. Don't be, seduced or tricked or manipulated into doing something that doesn't feel good to you. And then Traveler, move in a new direction. So that could be some advice for some people, especially if a situation hasn't changed and it's kind of like, yeah, let's get back together again, or yeah, let's be friends again, and nothing's really changed, and it's kind of like, well, this might be a time to move in a different direction than this person would like. But again, use your discernment, really understand where you align to this thing, how you align to this thing, and move in a new direction if need be. There's almost a feeling of release of guilt, because I feel like it was done for a reason and it didn't align with either of you. So it's kind of coming to that acceptance and understanding that unless something significant changes, the dynamic is always going to be that way. So moving in a new direction might just mean follow your inner compass and to move in a direction that feels correct for you. But I do feel lots of deep explorations are happening. I do feel that this work is going to help you bring forth some new insights, some new revelations, and some new understandings, which you can then take into the months ahead. So these are the messages I have for you today. My dear Soul Path 4. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading.